you and...
Okay. Well, hi, I'm Ariel Arnie, and I'm a horn player. I study at Penn State. Well, I just got my professional performance certificate as a one-year program at Penn State. And I'm going to the University at Buffalo for my master's, study the Scott. I've been playing French horn since 6th grade. I like French fries, French toast, French horn, so and, I found this piece of Hildegard. My teacher, Sarah Scalo, she introduced it to me. I had to do my recital. She's like, why don't you check this out? And I fell in love with it, obviously. And I wanted to share it with you all today. Of course, I love Strauss horn concerto, but I thought this would be maybe special to get some pointers. Awesome. Yeah, thanks.
some of these openings where you've got a small statement, small statement, small statement, I'd like you to have a little more freedom. Take a little more time. So when you start up, so they let the sound go into the air. Let that be for a moment, and then start again. And each one gets a little more involved, more notes, a little quicker. So the second statement has more notes and quarter notes. The third statement is what, triplets and eighth notes. So you can kind of build from your opening statements. And every time you finish, especially because you don't have an orchestra or a piano keeping you to the beat, and it says freely. So I like to really allow the music to breathe a lot when the composer has indicated that I have permission to do that. Other places in the piece you can't do that. But the whole intro, which I guess would be essentially the first two lines, right? And then, and when she finished, and then there's 2 beats of rest before going into the next section. So really, milk that, let that really settle, so that the audience will breathe with you, and will enjoy that freedom, because that's we'll not be calling you a student, but when we were all students, we were kind of locked to the beat, locked to the measure, and then as you start to grow, you start to build a little bit more freedom, a little more personality into our playing. So, but you had lots of personality, so that was,
But I could try to add it. Would you want like a defined space, like a breath?
Yeah. That's because there is no breath mark and there's no rest mark for us after the first. Well, actually, it's unmeasured. It says 4/4, but it's.
I kind of blocked out. I have my iPad, so I drew over the bar lines.
Oh, I see. Okay, I like it. Okay. What German? What do you call the tyranny of the bar line?
Well, that's Stravinsky.
Stravinsky said that. Yes.
And if I could just add, it's kind of like you're having a conversation with your audience, and just to
Yeah.
even expand upon what Laurel just said, and I'm exaggerating, but it's kind of like at the beginning to me, it's like, you're telling me all this stuff, and I'm like, what?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, so you're communicating, you're saying a sentence, you're saying a paragraph, you're expanding, you're describing, you're telling your story.
Yeah.
And there has to be pauses for your audience to say, I understand what she's saying. I'm just expanding on what she exactly said.
Exactly.
So if you think of it as a conversation, then that'll change the way you play.
Yeah.
I agree.
You
want to try to begin it?
Yeah. Let's see if I can say something.
Definitely better.
I think so often I feel more rushed, trying to
Right.
play.
Don't feel rushed. Yeah.
Especially for unaccompanied pieces, there's got to be rest. That's part of the music.
Yep.
So your ear can say, oh wow, that was awesome. Or, you know, it can digest, you know. Give us a little bit of your story at a time with unaccompanied music.
Yeah.
It's the way I think about it.
Yeah, it always, I think that's true. With unaccompanied, I always feel, or not always, but I frequently feel like it's a little too rushed through. That the silence is part of the conversation. So, and you imagine your sound going out there. And then, wait a moment. And then start again, you know. So.
And you have such a beautiful sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I definitely felt like towards the end, like for myself, I was like, oh, this is going on so long. So I maybe rushed more towards the end, but definitely the beginning. Because it's so, like, dotted half, quartered on notes, that whole.
Right. Yeah.
I know I only have 2 more minutes.
Oh, that's right, when the piece is longish, then we have less time to talk. This is probably not the most important thing to say, but while you had some long glissando, and I wanted to just say, feel free, when you have, especially a long glissando, feel free, if say you're starting on an open note, well that doesn't give you many partials to go up on, feel free to subtly add in some fingers in the middle of the glissando, and then switch to the correct fingering for the top note. I do that all the time. So, you know, feel free to do that. And the wonderful third horn excerpt out of Symphony Fantastique, where you have to go, walk. It's not marked with a glissando, but a lot of conductors like it. And I found an incredible half valve. And it was amazing. So feel free to add in some more length to your tubing in between, on the inside part of the glissando. So you have the correct fingering at the bottom, correct finger at the top. And sometimes you can actually change the open fingering. Like say you're starting on an E, instead of playing an open E or thumb and 1, or thumb and 2, you can do 1 and 2 on the F horn, so that you have more length, and then you just go up to the glissando. Anyway, that's a small point.
Unfortunately,
but I loved all of that. Look at it up.
yes, that was really good.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks for listening.